بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. سبحانك اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. والكامل لله في ذاته وفي صفاته وناقص الذات لم يكن له عمل. Inshallah, today we are going to start a new chapter which is أحكام الحيض والنفاس والاستحاضة. We're going to talk about the rulings on menstruation, menstrual blood, والنفاس and postnatal blood, والاستحاضة and what you call irregular blood or irregular bleeding. تنقسم الدماء الطبيعية الخارجة من المرأة إلى ثلاثة أقسام. تنقسم الدماء الطبيعية, natural types of blood. تنقسم, it's divided. الخارجة من المرأة, that comes out from a woman, إلى ثلاثة أقسام, into three divisions. So for better flow of translation, sometimes we do what we call التقديم والتأخير. So we can say الدم الطبيعية, natural blood, الخارجة من المرأة, that come from a woman. تنقسم, it's divided إلى ثلاثة أقسام, into three different types. The first one, دم الحيض, menstrual blood. This is the first. The second, دم النفاس, postnatal blood. The third, دم الاستحاضة, irregular vaginal bleeding or irregular vaginal discharge. So generally this part is telling us that naturally, without any cause, without any disease, without anything, the three types of blood that are excreted by women are only three. It can be either menstrual blood or postnatal blood as a result of giving birth, or an irregular bleeding. Sometimes you call it non-menstrual bleeding. These are the only three types of blood that are discharged by women generally. Then he said, وَعْلَمْ, you should know أن لكل نوع من هذه الأنواع أحكامه, that لكل نوع, each of these types has أحكامه, it has its own ruling. Of all these three, each one has its specificities and peculiarities that are related to it. Al-makhsusa bihi, that are specific to it. So each of these blood has certain specifications and rulings that are specific to it, which we are going to see. وَكُلٍّ, and all these three types of blood, يَجْرِي مِنَ الْمَرْأَةِ الْبَالِغَةِ, يجري, it flows, it comes out, it's released من المرأة, from a woman, بالغة, an adult. It's only, all these types are only found in adult women, not a man, not a non-adult woman. من موضع مخصوصة, from a specific location, from their private part. These are the parts that, these are the types of blood and their specificities. Now we are starting with the first one, al-hayd, menstruation. Al-hayd, menstruation. Dam al-hayd, menstrual blood. Now he is going to give us the definition of a menstrual blood. What is it? How does it look like? How would a woman know this is a menstrual blood and this is not a menstrual blood? So this is the definition. He says, هو الدم الأسود, it's a black colored blood. Now it's told by appearance. The dam al-hayd, the menstrual blood, is generally and mostly and usually black in appearance. Al-khafiru, thick. It's very thick. It's not thin, but thick in appearance. Karihatu raiha, with unpleasant odor. So these are the three major properties of menstrual blood. There are appearances in which it may exist, but usually in 90% of cases, 95% of cases, it's black, it's thick, and it has unpleasant smell. That unpleasant smell, sometimes you can call it metallic smell because it's blood, and we have iron, we have hemoglobin, which has iron, so we call it metallic smell sometimes. So the unpleasant smell in some books, you may see metallic smell, it still refers to the unpleasant smell or foul odor. وقد تقترن به القدرة والصفرة. It's accompanied by it, meaning the black color of the blood. Sometimes it's accompanied by al-qudra, dark brown, like a dirty brownish color. Sometimes the color may not be black, it may look dark brown. It's also, but these types of colors, they have their own specific rulings, which we are going to see. Was sufra, and yellowish appearance as well, like dirty yellow. So in this case, we understand that generally the color is black, but in some cases the color may appear dark or dirty brown or dirty yellow. But these two colors, they have their specific rulings, which he's going to talk about shortly. وغالبا, he said usually or generally in the idbar al-mahili, meaning these two colors, al-qudra was sufra, usually in the idbar al-mahili, towards the end or towards the ending period of menstruation. If a woman has 5 days, for example, as usual days for her menstruation, generally the first, second, and third day, it usually appears black. Maybe during the fourth day, the color might change to dark brown or dirty yellow. So that's why you say, وَغَالِبًا in the إِدْبَارِ الْمَحِيض, it usually occurs towards the ending period of the menstruation. This huwa, it refers to the damul hayd. This damul hayd, this menstrual blood, damun tabi'iyyun, we should know, it is a natural blood. It just happens, min ghayri sababin, without any cause. It happens to women generally. That's how Allah destined for them. Like Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Ummina Aisha radiyallahu anha, إن هذا أمر كتبه الله على بنات آدم أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is a situation that Allah has destined upon woman. And like in a hadith that belongs to Abdullah ibn Abbas, he says it starts with menstruation, starts from Ummina Hawa radiyallahu anha, when she was brought down to the earth. So she was the first woman that started menstruating. So it's there in women. They don't need to have a particular medical condition or pathological condition or psychological condition before it happens. It happens to them naturally. So that's why I say فهو دم طبيعي, it's a natural blood من غير سبب, without any cause, من مرض, from sickness, أو ولادة, or giving birth, في أوقات معلومة, within known time. It happens within known time, even though usually the women are classified into two: al-mubtadi'ah, the one that starts, al-mu'tada, the one that got used to it. So the one that starts, she may not know her time, but generally she's going to use the time of the woman in her location, which we are going to discuss later. And mu'tada, the one that knows, you already know the number of days. So these days are very specific. You say, but innama, of course, yakhtalifu, meaning the duration, the time, yakhtalifu, it varies, it changes, bihasabi halil mara'a, according to woman's situation. Okay, min maradin aw wiladatin fi awqatin ma'luma wala hadda. وَلَا حَدَّ لِأَقَلِّهِ, there is no specification, or there is no cut-up point لِأَقَلِّهِ, for its minimum duration. Like it has no minimum duration. And when we say minimum duration, meaning like let's say, for example, if there is minimum, we can say the minimum time is 1 day. Meaning if the blood comes and it ends in 5 hours, so it's not considered because it does not reach what? 24 hours 1 day. So we don't have that. There is no minimum. If the blood comes, it stops in 5 hours, it's called the blood, so long it qualifies the qualities, the color, the taste, and what have you. It may come for 1 day and go. It may come for 2 days. It may come for 3 days. It depends. So that's what he means by وَلَا حَدَّ لِأَقَلِّهِ. There is no cut up for its minimum duration, وَلَا لِأَكْثَرِهِ, or its maximum duration. Even though we might understand that some fiqh scholars, they specify the duration, or they cut up the time to the maximum of 15 days. Yeah, generally there are some scholars that say if after 15 days, even if a woman sees that blood, it's not considered a haid. But there is no clear saying from Allah in the book Quran or from Prophet ﷺ that specify those number of days. So that's why it says there is no cut-up timing for the minimum period, which we can consider either as a qad or maximum period. في الشرع, he say in Islamic ruling it doesn't exist. فإنما يختلف. What happens? فإنما, of course, يختلف. It varies, it changes. بحسب حال المرأة, according to the woman's situation. Even the living condition changes depending on the lifestyle, the kind of food she eats, the kind of weather she is under, everything. So the location and the lifestyle affect the duration of the menstruation. وبيئتها, her condition, وجوها, and her weather. It also depends. So maybe you could see a difference between the duration of menstruation of women that live in the east from those that live in the west, from those that live in the south, from those that live in the north. There could be differences because the weather is different, their water may be different, their food may be different, and of course we know they are all linked together because whatever we eat interacted with the blood and it affects a lot of things. So that's why it changes according to this situation. So there is no specifications that it must start from so day and it must end from so day. No, it does not exist. اختلافا, like variation متباينا ظاهرا, which is clearly visible. So there is a clear variation, so we cannot specify it by number of days. وبما أنه دم طبيعي, since it is a natural blood, it happens without any cause. فإنه يعرف به بلوغ المرأة. فإنه يعرف به, it is recognized with it, بلوغ المرأة, the puberty of a woman. Meaning, since it happens to them naturally, one of the signs that we can define a woman as an adult is when she starts menstruating, because it naturally happens to them. So menstruation is one of the signs that are used to classify women as an adult or non-adult. So this is the definition. So generally, under this, we understand that menstrual blood has certain properties: the color, the smell, and the thickness or the appearance. The color is generally black, but sometimes it can appear brownish or yellowish. But these brownish and yellowish appearance often occur towards the ending period of the menstruation. Again, there is no specific number of days that is clearly mentioned in Islamic ruling as the minimum or maximum. The number of days can change depending on the condition, weather, and situation of the woman in question. So these are the main things in this part. Now the next part is ما هي الصفرة والقدرة. what is as-sufra al-qudra? He mentioned al-qudra was as-sufra wal-qudra. What are these? Bidam al-hayd, in menstrual blood. What does it mean? Like, how do we know the appearance? As-sufra too. As-sufra, or yellowish appearance. Here, damul asfar. It's a yellowish blood. Kama il-juruhi, like the fluid of an injury. Like when you got injured, that kind of fluid that comes and mixes with the blood. It's not clearly red, it's not clearly yellow. So this is the appearance of the color that we say as sufra. That's why I say kama il-juruh, like the fluid of injuries. Aw kamathal sadid, or it looks like pus, P-U-S, the pus, like the fluid of the pus. It looks like it, but ya'aluhu al-ispira, on the surface with a yellowish appearance. So it looks like the pus water or the pus fluid over which there is a yellowish appearance. But لونه كلون الذهب, you say, okay, fine. لونه, the appearance كلون الذهب, it's just like the appearance of a gold. Just view it as the appearance of the gold, the yellowish color of the gold. So this is the appearance of a sufra. The second one, al-qudra, brownish. What is al-qudra? How does it appear? He say here damul akdaru. It's a dirty blood. It looks like a very dirty blood. Kama il-wasakhi, like a dirty water. Al-mutakaddiri, the one that is mixed. Just like clay, if you could view clay that is mixed, maybe people walked on it. So the water that comes from that clay, this is the possible view of the al-qudra color. Usually when we are interpreting in our language, when we were taught, usually they interpreted as the like heart color, like the color of the liver, like the liver color. Yeah, this is how we were taught with it. So it appears like a liver color. Ila, it was said, تكون القدرة بين البياض والسواد. القدرة, that color, it could be بين البياض, in between white, والسواد, and black. So it like bring it, maybe you got a charcoal, you got a coal, maybe put it in water, it becomes black, and then bring water, maybe mix it so that one color do not dominate the other. So these are all the possible appearances. أو بين الحمرة والسواد, or in between the red and black. So it still goes back to dirty browny appearance, or sometimes they call it murky appearance, M-U-R-K-Y, murky appearance. But al-qudra, we say, okay, finally, al-qudra lawnun yamil ila sawad. It's just any color that goes close to black or to dark. Like anything that goes close to a very dark color, it's considered al-qudra. So this is just an explanation about the appearance of the al-qudra wa sufra. Fa'idatun, benefit. He said, as-sufratu wal-qudratu, these two color, yellowish wal-qudra and brownish, in kanata fi athna il-hayd. If they happens, if they occur, if a woman sees them fi athna il-hayd, within the duration of her menstrual period. Let's say her usual menstrual period is 6 days, and she sees this color on 3rd day or 4th day, is within her period. So if she sees this color within her menstrual period, or it's linked with it, still within the days, before she becomes pure or before purity, فَهُمَا حَيْضٌ, they are counted as menstruation, they are counted as al-hayd. تَثْبُتُ لَهُمَا أَحْكَامُ الْحَيْض, it's confirmed upon them the rulings of al-hayd, of menstruation. So all the rulings that applies to menstruation applies to these types of blood color when they happens within the number or within the duration of menstruation. وَإِنْ كَانَتَا بَعْدَ انْقِطَاعِ الدَّمِ, if they happens after the stoppage of the blood, after the cessation of the menstrual blood, وَبَعْدَ رُؤْيَةِ الْقَصَّةِ, or after she sees a clear fluid, there is a fluid that we call a قصة البيضاء. That's a clear fluid. أو بعد الجفوف, or after dryness, after the drying of her private part, فلا يعدان حيضا, they are not counted as part of حيض. وهي طاهرة, she is considered clean. تثبت بحقها أحكام الصلاة والصوم. All the rulings of salat and fasting applies to her. So should we, because of the time, first time, should we cut off or?
We can continue. I believe because now we cannot take the bus, we can finish the whole chapter. No. ماشي ولا قاعد؟
لا مو بس.
Oh, you're staying. I think we can finish it.
Unless if you're leaving.
Unless if you're leaving.
Okay.
Are you leaving or you're staying?
No.
Okay, we can finish it.
So وهي ظاهرة وهي طاهرة. So وهي طاهرة, she is considered clean. تثبت بحقها, it confirms upon her أحكام الصلاة, the rulings of salat, والصوم, and fasting. So this benefit is explaining to us, as we have said earlier, when the two colors of the blood appears within the duration of her menstruation, they are considered hayd. If they appear after the duration, then they are not considered hayd. This is just the general concept here. Second, third, he said, بما تعرف المرأة انتهاء حيضها. How would a woman know the ending of her menstruation? How will she know now the menstruation is over? What will she see? How will she know? فتعرف ذلك, she can know that بانقطاع الدم, by the cessation of the blood, the stoppage of the blood that comes now is not coming. والصفرة والقدرة, and by the appearance of this yellowish color or brownish color. وهذا, and this يتحقق, it's confirmed بإحدى علامتين, with one of the two signs. There are two possible signs that she can see. When she sees that, then now it's sure her period is over, and it can be one of the two. It can either see number one or see number two. العلامة الأولى, the first sign, نزول القصة البيضاء, the coming of a white fluid. We call it قصة البيضاء. It's a white fluid that come. Okay, explaining that come after the menstruation. You see, وهي ماء, it's water أبيض, white, يتبع الحيض, that follows the menstrual blood. After all the blood stops, like during the ending period, towards the last drop, then that water comes after. When she sees that clean, clear fluid, then she will know that, okay, now the period is over. So this is the first indication. العلامة الثانية, the second indication, الجفاف, dryness. She should see dryness. لكن يكون بعد توقف الدم. This happens بعد توقف الدم, after the blood stops. After the blood stops. والصفرة والقدرة عن البدو. And this sufra, this color, yellowish, and this dark brownish, they stop عن البدو, from coming. بفترة كافية, with enough duration, للحكم, that we can rule على الطهارة, on her purity. What it means generally here is that, like, for dryness to happen, first, all forms of discharge must stop. And not as soon as it stops that we are going to see the dryness. There should be fataratin kafia, there should be enough duration that a woman must wait to make sure that, okay, now no more discharge is coming. And as soon as no more discharge is coming, then the private part will be dry. So this is the second indication that yes, now the period is over. He said, even at that time, يعتبر الجفاف طهورا. We can consider the dryness as purity. So that dryness is now considered as purity. But even if maybe it's within her period, for example, within her duration, there is a temporary stoppage. Maybe her location has started drying, and then later it started coming, so it's not considered. So that's why we need fatratun kafia, we need enough duration to make sure that okay, no more is coming, and when this happens, it can be considered as purity. وذلك, and this, she can go for further testing. بأن تضع قطنة. She can put a cotton أو خرقة or a cloth, any form of cloth, handkerchief, بيضاء, white, في فرجها, in her private part, ثم تخرجها جافة, and she brings it out dry. So she will put either cotton or white cloth in her private part. When she brings it out, she will look at it to make sure, okay, there is no drop of reddish appearance or any form of like blood form. When she sees it dry, then she can understand, yes, now the dryness has happened and now I am clean. I can do salat, I can do fasting, I can do everything. ليس عليها شيء, there is nothing on it, meaning the cotton or the cloth. من القدرة, from the dark brownish color, أو الصفرة, or the yellowish color, أو من أثر الحيض, or any of or any signs of menstruation. فهذا, this انقضاء الحيض is the final period of menstruation. So there are two signs that a woman can understand and know, yes, the period is over. First, qasatul bayda, the white discharge that comes after menstrual blood, and second, al-jafaf, the dryness, which how can she know she is dry is by using white cloth and put it in her private part and bring it out to check to make sure there is no spot on it. When she sees that, then she can know, okay, she is clean. So this is the definition of menstruation, the menstrual blood, the types, and some rulings on the type of colors, and as-sufra wal-qadra. Now the next type, an-nifasu, an-nifas, postnatal blood. An-nifasu, postnatal blood, huwa ad-damu al-kharij, is a blood that comes out bisababil wilada, because of delivery. Because of delivery, if a woman delivers, then the blood comes. وَلَوْ كَانَ الْمَوْلُودُ سَقَطًا, even if the child is a miscarriage, even if she has a miscarriage, the child comes dead. So, تَبَيَّنَ فِيهِ خَلْقُ الْإِنسَانِ, all the physical attributes or all the physical nature of human appears in him, then even if that happens, the blood that follows is considered the nifas. وَيَكُونُ لَوْنُ الدَّمِ, it is the color of normal blood. It's not like hayd, that it usually appears black. In this case, it's just a normal reddish color. So, وَيَكُونُ لَوْنُ الدَّمِ فِي النِّفَاسِ لَوْنًا مُعْتَادًا, أي لون الدم, the color of blood, في النفاس, in postnatal situation. وَيَكُونُ, it happens to be لَوْنًا مُعْتَادًا, a normal color. The normal color of blood is the color. وَأَيُّ دَمٍ يَنْزِلُ بَعْدَ الْوِلَادَةِ يُعْتَبَرُ نِفَاسًا, any form of blood that comes بعد الولادة, after delivery, يعتبر نفاسا, it's considered as دم النفاس, it's considered as postnatal blood. وأقل مدته لا حد له. When it comes to the minimum duration, لا حد له, there is no cutoff. It has no minimum duration, meaning it can come and end in 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 day. There is no minimum duration, just like the الحيض. وأكثر مدته, the maximum duration, its maximum duration 40 يوما, 40 days. This is the maximum duration, meaning after 40 days, even if she sees a drop of blood, she will not consider it as the nifas. She will not continue her salat, fasting. If she wants to go to Makkah, she can go off and everything. If she wants to go to Hajj and all those things. So this is where it's different from what? From Hayd. In Hayd, ولا أكثر عيدا. It depends on the condition of the woman and what have you. But in Nifas, أكثره 40 يوما. Even though I know we read in books, in our Fiqh books, that it can reach up to 60 days, yes, but this is the view of Fuqaha, and it's not like I say clearly from Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وقيل, it said قد يزيد على ذلك. Yeah, they say it can go beyond that. But what is clearly mentioned in Hadith of Salama, as you can see down here, as in Hadith Salama, is that after 40 days, they don't consider any blood as Damun Nifas. So that's why the maximum is 40 days. Fa'idatun, another benefit. إذا كانت المرأة حاملا, if a woman is pregnant, ثم أجريت لها عملية جراحية, ثم, and then عملية جراحية, surgery, that's عملية جراحية, yeah, CS, أجريت لها, was performed on her. So if a woman is pregnant and she underwent surgery, وأخرج الطفل, and the child was removed, دون نزول دم, without the release or discharge of any blood, من مكانه المعتاد, from its natural place, that's the private part. فإنها لا تعد نفسا, she's not counted among the women. She doesn't have nifas. There is no drop of blood. CS was performed. The child was taken out from her stomach. She was tied back, and no discharge from her vagina. So she's not considered as having nifas. So he's trying to build based on the fact that what makes a woman to be considered as having nifas is when there is a discharge. The delivery is not the marker. The delivery is not the marker, but the coming of what? Of the blood. So if surgery was performed and the child was taken out from the stomach, after that there is no discharge, then. But if the child is taken and there is discharge, now she is considered as having to have nifas. So this is an advantage of this time that he has mentioned, which is good. So generally in nifas we can see that it's a usual blood. The appearance, it comes generally after delivery, and it has no minimum duration, but what has maximum duration of 40 days. And the major marker is the release of the blood, not the delivery. If the delivery happens through surgery and there is no release of blood or there is no discharge, then she cannot be considered as nifasa. She can continue her normal spiritual activities, salat, som, and many more. ما يحرم على الحيض والنفساء. What is prohibited upon al-haid, menstrual women, والنفساء, or women that release postnatal blood. Like what is prohibited on them? هو أربعة أشياء. There are 4 things. The first one, as-salatu, prayer is prohibited. They cannot pray. خلال فترة الحيض, within the period of menstruation, والنفاس, or the postnatal blood. Within that period, they cannot pray. They will not pray. They are not required to pray, and they are not required to pay back even after the blood stops. And when it comes to this paying back, I think we can discuss this in this range. Let's say a woman, like this time, she's taught. She didn't pray asali, and she's taught at this time. After she finishes, must she pray asali? Because we are within the 10 years. The time has not elapsed yet. So after she finishes, must she pay back, or she's not needed to do so? She must pay back.
Yeah.
Why?
Because the time of Salah, at the time the Salah reached, she was clean, like she was not in the state of life. Right? That was the question.
Yes, like at this time. Let's say just at this time.
Yeah. And now she is expected to pray as already, but she didn't do something.
Yes, to do something.
The blood comes later after the time of Salah reached. So then she has to do it later. That's what I mean. After the finish of the Hayd. That's why it's on her.
Yeah, it's on her.
It was not during the period of Hayd. It was before the period.
What he's trying to say is that the adhan of Asr came before the Hayd. So it's written on her to write to pray Asr when the time came, because the adhan of Asr has happened before the Hayd has came to her. So she's required to like pray Asr.
She's required to pray asr after she finishes.
No.
Is there any other view, Sheikh? Is there any other view?
This will be-
If she become clean at the time of the prayer, it's valid.
No, like starting. Now we're talking about starting. No, clean. Yes, because there are two things. Like cleaning period, the time when she is sure her menstruation is over, and the time when she starts the menstruation. So now we are already in Asr period, yes? And the time is not over. Anybody that prays Asr at this time, they pray it within the time. Yes? So let's say a woman has not prayed earlier. Maybe she was doing something, she has another plan, she was like, okay, I'll pray later. And before she prays, the blood comes. So after the blood comes, now she cannot pray. If she does not pray, she will what? She will wait until the period is over. So the question is, must she pay back Asr since she like the beginning of Asr met her before when she was clean? You get the point?
Yes.
Yeah, so must she pray?
I think we should.
Yeah, okay.
Because
Okay.
she let the pray till he come.
Yeah, okay. As usual, in any of these cases, there are always different views, and this is one which it's a bit more satisfying. Like when you do it, you'll be like, okay, I have no any issues. But generally, there are many that say, no, she doesn't need to. Why? Because she's still in the period. So this Hayd happens to her within the period, meaning the Salah is off her. Like it happens to her within the period. Had it been like the period is over, if the period is over, let's say now we have Guru Shams, like there is sunset. She was clean throughout the sunset, and she didn't pray due to some reason, even though generally they accept that if she was sleeping, remember, man nama an salata aw nasiya anha fadhaka waqtiha. Yes, if she was sleeping, now that time when she wake up is her time. So like if there is any reason that make her not pray and the time is over, so now throughout the time she was what? She was clean. So she was supposed to pray within that duration and she didn't for one reason or another. So even after the Hayd comes, she must pay off that Salah. But since now it's within the time, which is accepted by the Sharia, it's from this duration to this duration. Okay, what does she need to pray? Because it happens to her within the time. You get their concept?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as usual, this is always, and each one, that's what we call fiqh and ijtihad. In each case, you will see there are some things, but in many cases, when there is skeptical, then you can go back to that. Okay, when I do this, I find peace of heart. Okay, then I will do it. So this is one of the things. And there is now the purity, the division of the purity. If a woman is pure, like they say, let's say there is even sunset, which clearly you can say the time for us has elapsed, yes? Naturally. After sunset, and she sees, or doing towards, not like towards the sunset, she sees, she becomes pure, but before she could take shower, because they must clean themselves. Before they clean themselves, then the period will be over. So like she is pure towards the end of the period, but before she clean herself, then the period will be over. Then what will happen to that salah? Must she pay back, or it's gone? So complicated.
Based on last week, we did term, right?
No.
And one of the reasons that you can do term is if the time is going to elapse and you couldn't pray. So maybe she can do term and then pray.
Maybe she can retain on the break.
Based on last week.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, this is a good take.
But there are water will be. Can use the wudu to
Yeah,
pray.
last week it says one of the conditions. It says that.
Yeah, I understand what you are saying. I understand your view. Like his major view is that okay, now before, because when we did Tayammum, there's one of the excuses that you can perform Tayammum when is to avoid the elapsing of the Salat period, so that you got Salah on time. Maybe before you perform wudu, it's going to be too late for you, but after when you do Tayammum, it's going to be fast and you can get it. So this is where he is coming from. Okay, this is a take. Is there any other view? Okay, so like generally in this view, al-fuqaha, they say that in an event of an excuse, the time, the asr time, the zuhur time and asr time elapse together during the sunset. I must have given example with the asr time, with the zuhur time, not the asr time. Like in the asr, if like a woman, let's say at this time, the asr is gone naturally, yes. Normally, the asr, zuhur, sorry, not asr. Zuhur is gone, and she becomes pure at this time. Now they say she must pray asr and dhuhr. Why? Because in a situation of an excuse, the time for zuhur and asr elapse together during the sunset. Elapse together. So as long as the sun has not set, zuhur is on her. Likewise, Maghrib and Isha, their time elapse together, Tulu al-Fajr. So if she becomes clean before Tulu al-Fajr, she must pray Maghrib and Isha, because the time elapsed together in an event of acceptable excuse like this one. But even though we're going to do that in Salah, but in an event where there is no excuse, then there is a different ruling. It depends on what happened. Many, like Madhab Malikia, they say no matter what, either like there's excuse or no excuse, you must pay back. And there's somebody they say no. If you delay without any acceptable excuse, you are not required to do that. Because Allah said pray from so time to so time. Without any reason you refuse to do so. Okay, now who asked you to do it in so time? Are you inventing the time? People like Ibn Hazm, they were so hard, they'd be like, okay, so you are creating new time for Salah. He was attacking some of the scholars like Imam Shafi'i and that give the permission. Was like, okay, now you are creating new time for Salah. Things like that. But it's different, it's going to be Salah. But in this case, they say if she becomes clean before the sunset, she has Asr and Maghrib. But after the sunset, they are gone. no Asr. I mean, sorry, not Maghrib. She has Zuhur and Asr. After the sunset, they are gone. If she get clean before the Fajr, now Maghrib and Isha are on her. But if she becomes clean after, now the time has elapsed. Now we enter into a new phase. Wallahu a'lam. So you're going to see different views in these types of situations. So this is as-salatu khilal fatarat al-hayd.
For the previous person, she will pray Dhuhr and Asr if she has enough time. Like the last question you asked,
Which
what
one?
was the answer? The one you said, like if there is not enough time, there is a time, like let's say at the end of
Okay.
the only time she has to do the shower.
Okay. Yeah, for that one, generally, the fiqh scholar says that if she cannot get clean, if she cannot wash herself, she already got clean, so she has to pray that salat. Because there are two signs for the ending period of haid, either qasat al-bayda or al-jafa. It happens. Okay, now cleanliness or washing is something that will permit her to do salat. So naturally there is salat on her. It's like somebody who has janaba. Salat is on him or her, but they cannot pray without a shower. So it's like the same. So it starts during that time and she has to pray. So this is the better view, even though of course there's an opposing one. Allah A'lam, which says no, she has to get shower. That's when the purity is completed. So, but the most acceptable one is if the blood stops or qasat al-bayda appears, she is clean and she has to pray that salat. Wallahu a'lam. As-sawm, fasting. فَلَا يَحِلُّ لَهَا أَن تَصُومَ. It's not permissible for her to fast. She will not fast if a woman has menstruation or is in menstruation period or the postnatal blood. She will not do fasting. وَإِن صَامَتْ. If she fasts, فَهِيَ آثِمَةٌ. She is considered a sinner. If she has menstrual blood, if she is in the period of menstruation or the period of postnatal discharge, and she insists that she has to fast, then she is considered a sinner. And by that meaning she goes against the teaching of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and for that God knows the punishment she deserves. الطواف, also طواف, فهو حرام عليها بالإجماع. It's prohibited to her based on the agreement of scholars. الجماع, sexual intercourse, فلا يحل لزوجها. It's not permissible for her husband أن يطأها, to have an intercourse with her وهي حائض, when she is having menstruation. So in this case, what would happen if her husband is not a Muslim?
Can a Christian or not a Muslim marry?
Yeah, it doesn't matter whatever religion. Is not a Muslim, it's not Muslim. Like, okay, this is your religion, it's not mine.
Islamically, can he marry a Muslim?
Huh?
Islamically, can he marry a Muslim?
I should twist the question. What if, like, the no, sorry, I twist the question. It should be a wrong question. Yeah, because he cannot marry a Muslim, yes. He cannot marry a Muslim woman. But if there is the question I want to make, if she got clean, no, there is this question. It skips my mind.
Maybe a Muslim guy marrying a Christian woman?
No, it's like a Muslim man marrying a Christian. Yes, a Muslim Maria is the same. I twisted. A Muslim man marrying a Christian, and she has menstruation. Yes, she has menstruation, and it happens that according to us, it's not allowed, and she insists it's not her religion.
Yeah. لا طاعة للمخلوق في معصية
Hmm?
لا طاعة للمخلوق في معصية
Yeah. So ولا ضاعت لي بقى لوكي ما ذكر خالد.
Yeah, he knows.
He knows, yes, so she should. So that's why sometimes these are some of the misunderstandings that set in. So he will not go with her. And what about a situation in which after the blood, because I think for intercourse, the woman must take a shower generally before her husband can have an intercourse with her. Does it apply? Because a non-Muslim woman, maybe according to them, they don't have to take a shower. If the blood stops, it stops. So should the husband tell her that she should take that shower before an intercourse, or now she's clean?
Yeah.
But according to Shariatina, a woman must take a shower before her husband can go. And she's not a Muslim. And the blood stops.
So-
Should he
So
insist?
understand that
Yeah.
the ruling is on the Muslim woman,
Okay.
but she is not Muslim.
Okay.
And in the Quran it says she will be clean if she did this. But the non-Muslim, she's already not unclean. So regardless of whether she do the ghusl or not,
She is still.
she's unclean.
So here is the thing. When we come to cleanness, there is there are two types of cleanliness: the physical cleanliness and the spiritual one. So the cleanliness that we're talking about is a spiritual one, the one that you mentioned. So you are trying to put the spiritual and the physical one together, which are two different things. So another reason.
Can you repeat the question again?
The question is, she is a non-Muslim woman and she finished her menstruation. According to our Islamic teaching, a woman should take a shower before her husband can have an intercourse with her. But she is not a Muslim. Should her husband ask her that you must take a shower before I can come to you?
He can answer. He can answer.
He must. That's why I asked the question, should he or must he? Because if you say he can, meaning, okay, it's a choice. If you want, he can.
That's what I mean.
Okay, now let us reframe the question. Is he permitted to have an intercourse with her without taking a shower?
Maybe it's makruh to have an intercourse with her without a shower.
Maybe it's makruh. Maybe.
But maybe it's not haram yani.
Maybe it's not haram because she's not a Muslim. Can anyone remember the ayah that's...
يسألونك عن المحيط قل هو أذى فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيط ولا تقربوهن حتى يطهرن فإذا تطهرن فاتوهن من حيث أمركم الله إن الله يحب التوابين ويحب المتطهرين.
So it's clear.
Yeah. I'm still citing it over.
Okay. So they say, okay, where does it say this ayah refers to only Muslim women?
They have a point.
Like, where does it say? The ayah say women.
What I'm trying to understand is the cleanliness. But it doesn't specifically say this
is physical.
Spiritual or physical.
It's sometimes the context. You can use the context to define what it means. We are talking about hayd, a discharge of blood. So
It doesn't necessarily mean ghusl. What does it mean washing away the dead, the blood and things?
well, so this is another point of contention that some go for. It means the stoppage of the blood. Some goes for no, she has to clean herself. But generally, will be physical, birth. So according to this ayah, generally we go by the definition that he must ask her to do that. She has to do it. She has to do it.
What if she refused to?
What if she refused to? Then you go to court. Sheikh, what if she refuses to? What would happen? There could be a conflict, that's why it's always better to go for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So because there are some minor things that you could be having.
You try to force her indirectly.
Yes. So you should be clever.
Yeah,
Be like, this is for your own good.
Yes.
If it
So
happens
the
like
rule
this,
is
it can lead
must.
to.
he must.
Yes,
As a rule.
yeah, yes. That's true, because they say that I do not specify only Muslim women. They say generally women. So he has to. He cannot go. He can't. Wallahu a'lam.
So, by implication, he must teach how to do ghusl. Or it doesn't need to be an Islamic way.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be in our format.
It's just a normal shower.
Yeah, he should wash herself. Yes. Because if she does it our own way, it doesn't matter. Because even our own way, when you look at it, the basic thing is ta'lim al-jasad bil-ma', even in our own way. But now the intention, the niyyat, that we are doing this so that now we can pray, so that now we can do this. But she's not doing it already. So the only difference is the intention. We also do this. So,
It's doable.
yeah. So you just clean it.
You just need to be clear.
Yes, yes. You just need to be clear.
Might as well just marry a Muslim woman. It's better.
Yes, just avoid the complications of that.
Yeah.
So أهم الأمور لا بأس بها للحائض. أهم الأمور, important matters that are okay for a menstruating woman. It's okay, she can do it. لا بأس, there is no fault in it. But generally, these things, he just take his side because there is disagreement over them. Generally, there are disagreement over them, but he just bring that like la ba'as because he already take his side that is permitted, they can do that, but there is other side that say no, she cannot do it. But because there is no clear mentioned in the Quran or in the Hadith, which is valid, which is sahih, then many of the scholars do not consider it, so he is also part of those. Number one, dhikrullahi wa qira'at al-Quran. Like calling the name of Allah and reciting the Holy Quran. You see, there are many scholars that goes, no, she cannot, especially reciting the Quran, yes. There are some that say, okay, now she can recite, but she cannot touch it. Some say, okay, yes, yeah, it lies in the Muslim Mashabiyya. It's there in our Akhbariyya.
And in Quran, لا يمسه إلا المطهرون.
So this is the point of contention. Who is Mutahhar? Some goes by angels. Some goes by Muslims. She's a Muslim, so she can do that. So this is Al-Mutahharun has different
Goes
interpretation.
back to spiritual and
Yes. Some consider Al-Mutahharun. Some they say even Al-Mutahharun it's the angels. And La yamassuhu, it means Lawhul Mahfuz. Yes. This is part of the interpretation. And some goes, no, it means a Muslim. If you're a Muslim, you're mutahhar. If you're not, then you cannot do it. And some goes for that. So this is the thing. So that's why there is disagreement, several disagreement over it, but the focused view is that is it clearly mentioned on it. So that's why it goes for it. Zikrullahi wa qira'at al-Quran, the calling the name of Allah and reciting Quran. So generally she can recite Quran without touching the book according to some. As-sujudu idha sami'at ayat as-sajda. She can prostrate. She can do a sujood idha sami'at ayat as-sajda if she heard the verse that in which we do sajda. فَلَا مَانِعَ مِنْ سُجُودِهَا لَهَا. There is nothing that could prevent her to prostrate from those eyes. قراءة القرآن في حجرة المرأة الحائض. Reciting Quran on the thigh of a menstruating woman. Let's say your wife is menstruating and you are leaning on her, you can recite Quran. The fact that you are just leaning on her doesn't stop you from reciting the Quran. Because Prophet Aisha from the Prophet recited Quran while he was on her thigh. So it's okay. Shuhud al-Aidaini. Also this one, Shuhud al-Aidaini, there is a clear mention Prophet encouraged the menstruating women to attend Eid al-Adha or Eid al-Fitr. They can go there, but they don't have to pray, or they are not allowed to pray. بل يستحب لها ذلك. In fact, they are encouraged to do that. they are encouraged to clean themselves, to go and stay far away and just observe, be part of the event of the day. دخول المسجد, entering a mosque, عند الحاجة, when there is need, when it's necessary. Yeah, عند الحاجة. So this is the specification, because let's say for example she is menstruating and she wants to take her laptop in the mosque, she can come and take it. She wants to come and take a book, take it and go. Then sitting.
Yeah. She wants to come and listen to lecture, example. Can she?
Sitting. So the reason the most of the scholars go by this in the haja, then because the situations in which Prophet ﷺ wives, when they are menstruating, they come to do something and go out. They don't stay. They come to do something and go out. So they go by that ruling. They go by that ruling. And also, since it's said in the, but there is no also specific mention that said they must not enter the masjid and stay. So we can consider that as haja as well.
You can come and see.
Why not? Wallahu a'lam. In the haja. But there are many scholars that go highly against that. They cannot enter the mosque at all. And some say no, just to come and do something. This is the middle view, which is better. To come and take something and go back, okay, it's permitted. But just to come and sit, even though there is no clear prohibition, but they shouldn't do it.
If they want to come and listen to lecture like this, or something similar to this, can they come?
Well, this is another extreme view. This is another extreme view. This is another extreme view that there is nothing stopping them.
Yeah.
Because here is the thing. Some scholars go by the saying that there is no clear prohibition. Okay, why must they be prohibited? And some who stays in the middle go by the fact that even during Prophet ﷺ, when there is need for something, they come do it and go out, they don't stay. So that's why he goes by this in the haja. Like not just come and stay. So now if we take this in the haja and expand it to the question you ask, okay, what is haja? The need for something. Okay, if they need to come to do something, they will come and do something immediately. It's finished, they can go. Because it's what? It's haja. And there is the other extreme that they are not allowed to enter at all. So it's always within them. So in the haja, if there is something that they need to come, since there is no clear prohibition, okay, let them come. Wallahu a'lam.
I have a question. There is a hadith that said one of three people يقطع صلاة المصلي, like it breaks the salah of someone. Let's say you are praying outside of the masjid, there and there is no sutra, you are praying, and people are coming here, including women. You can't really detect which one is the state of height or not. So are they breaking your salah?
So that's why even them coming, they don't have any reason to come during the time of salat. I mean, why would they come during the time of salat?
Maybe haja. They have a reason to come.
But the thing is, you don't know. There is no ruling over something you don't know.
Yeah.
So now the thing is on her. How would you know? Let's say, for example, she passed. Would you stop them and be asking them, do you have this or do you have height?
That's the custom.
So you don't know. It doesn't matter to you.
So how can you know?
You get the point? You can't know. How would you know?
So it's better just to put the sutra.
Of course, put it while you are not even, according to our rulings, when you are going to pray, you must protect your prayer. That's why it's even say you have to push a person away. It's your duty to protect your prayer. That's why you're not even allowed to come on the street, the passageway of the people to pray. Because this is their natural passageway. And you come and stay there, this is not a place for prayer. So like these are the two things. Number one, you must not go to the passageway, one. And two, if by the ruler it happens, you must put sidra. If it happens, you cannot post it as somebody come to cross, then you should. So all the things are on you. Because as in this case that you are asking, you will never know which woman is having menstruation or not. So it's not on you. Do you think you can know?
You can't.
Yeah, you can.
It's impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. Allah. Yes. تنبيه, note, take note. أجمع العلماء, all scholars have agreed on أن النفساء, that women having postnatal blood, تشترك, they are together, meaning they have same ruling مع الحائض, with a woman having menstruation. Like everything that is prohibited for a menstruating woman is also prohibited for a woman that has postnatal blood, النفاس. في جميع أحكامها, in all the rulings, but there is one case which you should mention. Okay, يختلف النفاس, a woman having postnatal blood is different عن الحيض from menstruating woman في أن العدة, in the case that العدة لا تحصل به, does not happen with it, meaning counting the number of blood to be considered as idda and nifas is not counted, is hayd. لأن العدة, because عدة تنقضي, it's finished بوضع الحمل قبله, as soon as she delivers it's over. Okay, so that blood is not considered as opposed to hayd, but otherwise everything is the same. What is permitted for the menstruating woman is also permitted for them. What is not permitted is not permitted for them. Can we go for istihada? We can finish all of it, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Al-istihada, now irregular bleeding. That's al-istihada, irregular bleeding. Because he has mentioned that there are 3 types of blood: al-hayd, menstruation, والنفاس, postnatal, and al-istihada, irregular bleeding. So now al-istihadatu, irregular bleeding, here نزول الدم, it's the coming of blood, واستمراره, and its continuous discharge, على المرأة, on a woman, في غير أوقات الحيض, outside the period of menstruation, والنفاس and postnatal blood, أو اتصل بهما, or is accompanied with them. وهو دم, is a blood, وهو دم, it's a blood, وليس كما سبق في العادة, it's not natural like he has mentioned earlier. وليس كما سبق, وليس في العادة, it's not a natural form like it has appeared. بحيث لا ينقطع إلا عند البرء منه, in the sense that بحيث, in the sense that لا ينقطع, it does not stop إلا عند البرء منه, unless she is cured from it, unless she is like it always comes. But for the haid, we know that it comes from so days to so day. Women know, I have 5 days. After 5 days, it stops. Women know they have maybe 6 days. After 6 days, they all know their timing. Or they know, okay, this is the color. When I do not see the color, meaning it's over. So they all know that. But for the case of al-istihada, it can come any time and it can last for any long. So that's why it is ahwal al-mustahada, the situation of a woman that is discharging irregular blood. إذا كانت الاستحاضة في غير وقت الحيض, if the irregular discharge happens في غير وقت الحيض, outside the period of menstruation, والنفاس, or postnatal blood, يعني غير متصل بهما, meaning it's not linked, it's not accompanied by حيض والنفاس, فهذا واضح. This is very clear. It's very clear because her number of days for menstruation is 5 days. After 5 days, maybe another blood comes on 7th or 8th day. Okay, now it's clear these two bloods are what? Different. Also, let's say for Nifas, maybe she is bleeding after 40 days, for example, because we know the maximum number of days are 40. So after 40 days, she is bleeding. Then on the 42nd, she sees another blood. And it's not Hayd, it doesn't look like Hayd and what have you. So she knows, okay, this is clear, there is clarity because they are not what? Linked together. So that's why I say, فَهَذَا وَاضِحٌ. This is very clear. فَلَيْسَ فِيهِ غُمُوضٌ. There is no ambiguity in it. There is no any ambiguity. It's very clear. This blood is this and that blood is that. أما but إذا كان نزول هذا الدم, if the coming or the discharge of this blood وجريانه and its flow متصلا بالحيض is accompanied with menstrual blood أو النفاس or postnatal blood, فللمستحاضة, for a woman that is having this irregular discharge, ثلاثة حالات. She have 3 situations now. So meaning that if, for instance, she has her menstruation period of 5 days, and then perhaps during the 4th day or the 6th day, then the blood continue. Now she is in a bit of dilemma. She will like, okay, do my days increased? What happened to my days? Because maybe her menstruation is 5 days. On the 6th day, then the blood continue. Or her menstrual period is 6 days. On the 7 days, she sees another flow of blood. So now there is a bit of confusion. But even if this happens, they have 3 situations. الحالة الأولى, first situation, أن يكون للمرأة حيض معلوم. It will be that the woman has known menstrual period. She knows that I have 5 days. She knows that I have 4 days. She knows that I have 6 days, for example. بالعادة, naturally, قبل الاستحاضة, before the coming of irregular bleeding. فهذه المرأة, this woman, ترجع إلى مدة حيضها. She will go back to her actual number of days. المعلومة, that is known to her as سابقة, previously. وما زاد عليها, anything that adds on this, فهو دم الاستحاضة. It's just considered istihada. So this is the first case. If she has 5 days, any blood that comes on the 6th is considered istihada. If she has 4 days, any blood that comes on the 5th is considered istihada. If she has 3, any blood that comes on the 4th is not considered istihada, because they have different rulings. In Hayd, they are not allowed to pray, they are not allowed to do this, but in istihada, they have to. So during the period of that 5 days, even if she sees a blood on the 6th, she will continue her normal act of ibadat. So this is the first situation. She has known number of days. So after those days, any blood that comes is considered istihada, is considered as an irregular bleeding, and that will not stop her from performing any act of ibadah. This is حالة الأولى. الحالة الثانية, the second condition or second situation, أن تكون المرأة لم تعرف عادتها. A woman that do not know her number of days. It's not clear to her the number of days that her period lasts. لكن كانت مميزة, but she can differentiate. She doesn't know the number of days, but she can differentiate بين الدمين, between the 2 types of blood. Why? Because we did at the beginning دم الحيض أسود generally. So it's clear the menstrual blood is generally black in color, 1, or brownish in color or dirty yellowish in color. So these are the things that she can use to differentiate. And Damul Istihada is a normal red colored blood. So now she will use that tamyiz to differentiate between Damul Hayd or Damul Istihada. But Damul Hayd, menstrual blood, huwa ma tamayyazu bisawadi. It's something that we can differentiate with being black or too dark, or button, or its thickness. It's also very thick, or natinin, or the unpleasant odor. So you see, the menstrual blood has properties that she can see, so she can know that, oh, this blood is menstrual blood and the other blood is irregular blood. وَمَا عَدَاهُ, anything besides this, فَهُوَ إِسْتِحَاضَةٌ, is considered as an irregular bleeding. So in this case, she will use the nature of the blood. Is the blood black? Okay, it's black. Okay, then it's a continuation. Let's say she has 5 days normally. On the 6th day, she sees another blood. And that blood happens to be what? Black. Or it happens to have the thickness of her normal menstrual blood. Or the unpleasant odor of her normal blood is the same in that blood that comes on the 5th day. So she will consider, okay, this is the same thing. But anything outside that, if she sees the blood that comes on the 5th day has normal red color, she will know, okay, now this is Damul Istihada, and she is not considered as having menstruation. This is the second condition, using tamyiz, differentiation. الحالة الثالثة, the third condition, أن تكون الاستحاضة طارئة على المرأة في أول الشهر رأت دم الحيض. أن تكون الاستحاضة, for the irregular bleeding to be طارئة على المرأة, it happens to a woman من أول الشهر, from the first month رأت دم الحيض, that she starts menstruating. Like she starts this month, and unfortunately, al-istihada also happens to her. So like she is in a condition that she is an inexperienced woman. Because in all the previous cases, we're talking about the experienced woman. Because they know their number of days, or they can differentiate between the color, meaning they know it. But this is a woman, is mubtada. She is an inexperienced. She has no any idea about the color, about the thickness, about the odor. She doesn't know. She doesn't even know there are some number of days that the blood lasts. She doesn't know. So she is totally inexperienced. What should she do? So that's what he says. So for the irregular bleeding to happen in the first month that a woman is having a menstruation, وَهِيَ غَيْرُ مُمَيِّزَةٍ, she cannot differentiate between the two types of blood. وَهَذِهِ, this one, تَرْجِعُ إِلَىٰ عَادَةِ غَالِبِ نِسَائِهَا, she will go back, she will use the majority, or she will use the number of days that majorly occur to the women in her area. Meaning now she will ask in her area, how many days do you last for haid? This one can tell her 5, this one could say 6, this one could say 7, this one could say 8. So she will use the knowledge of the experienced woman in her vicinity, and she will just take these days as her number of days. So we say ترجع إلى عادة غالب نسائها, she will go back to the general nature or the general condition of the women in her vicinity, and she will use it. وإذا كانت عادتهن ستة, if their period is 6 days أو 7 أيام or 7 days, فإنها تعمل بها, she will use it. She will use those number of days, وتعتبرها حيضة لها, and she will consider it as her number of days or as her menstruating period. وما زاد على هذه المدة, anything that goes outside, anything that increases on this days فهو استحاضة. It's considered irregular bleeding. So these are the three conditions. Generally, they are classified into two types of women: experienced and inexperienced. For the experienced ones, they can use their known number of days or their knowledge on the color, thickness, and the smell of the blood. For the inexperienced woman, she will use the number of days that is common in her society. So she will ask the women in her society, how many days does it usually take for menstruation to finish? Some will tell her 6, 7, and she will take the majority. If majorly, some may have 5. Let's say it's like a vote. Some has 5, but 3 have 7. She will go by 7. Some have 6, but 10 have 5. She will go by the majority. So she will take 5. And she will consider that, she will consider those days as her menstruating period. Anything outside of that, even if she sees the blood, she will consider it as irregular bleeding. And she will continue until she now understands her own condition. Because as time goes on, she will become experienced. She will notice, oh, this blood has so color. It has so thickness. It has so smell. But the other one is not the same. Oh, this blood that has so color and this, it lasts for so number of days. So when she becomes experienced, now she will build on her own knowledge. So this is what they generally say. Wallahu a'lam. Ahkam al-mustahadati, rulings on a woman that is having irregular bleeding. But mustahada, an irregular bleeding woman, في الأحكام كلها بمثابة الطاهرة من النساء. فالمستحاضة في الأحكام كلها, when it comes to irregular bleeding woman in all the rulings, بمثابة الطهارة, she's just considered as a clean من النساء from a woman, like she's considered generally a clean woman. She's not considered as someone that is having حيض or nifas. فلا يحرم عليها, it's not prohibited on her or to her ما يحرم على الحائض, what is prohibited for menstruating woman, إلا أنها تنفرد بما يأتي, except she is singled out for what is to come, meaning she has some different situation, which are these. So generally, the statement is telling us that a woman that is having an irregular discharge or irregular bleeding, she is considered as a clean. There is no ruling like we have in menstruating woman or postnatal bleeding woman. But in her situation, there are certain things that she should consider if she has that kind of condition. Number one, وجوب الوضوء عليها. It's compulsory that she must perform ablution لكل صلاة, for each salat. So she cannot go by that, okay, I have an ablution since Asr time, I can use it for Maghrib time. No, for each salat she must perform ablution. This is first case. بعد دخول وقت الصلاة, after the beginning of the salat period. So when she comes to do Asr, she must take ablution. Zuhur, she must take ablution. Maghrib, she must take. Isha, Fajr, she must take ablution every time she comes to pray. Every time. This is the first case, which is not natural for everyone. Yes. So this is her own peculiar condition. Number two, ghuslu athari dami, cleaning or washing the location of the blood min farjiha, from her private part, in the iradati salat, whenever she comes to pray. So when she comes to pray, she has to clean the region where there is blood. وإلقاء خرقة أو قطن على الفرج, and she will put خرقة, cotton, cloth, أو قطن or cotton على الفرج, on her private part, لاستمساك الدم, in order to dry up the blood. So it's like she will take a cotton and put it so that she will soak away the blood. حالة أداء الصلاة, when she wants to pray. Third, جماع زوجها إياها في غير وقت الحيض. Her husband can go for her so long she is not having menstruation. So her husband can, it's just that they should make sure about the cleanliness, cleaning the blood. It depends on them though, so they can decide whatever, but it's not prohibited for him to go to her because it's not considered menstruating blood. So these are the kind of difficulties they could only face, which is so peculiar to them. Number one, that they should clean the blood. Number two, they should make sure they perform al-wudu every time they come to pray. Allahu A'lam. Now we have a tadribat. ما هي الدماء الطبيعية الخارجة من المرأة البالغة؟ الدماء الطبيعية الخارجة من المرأة البالغة. الحيض
والصفرة
الحيض
الصفرة
والنفاس
دماء طبيعية والنفاس
والاستحاضة.
Yes, so والاستحاضة, yeah. So these are the three. The sufra is the color, yes, color of the haid, color of the menstrual blood. أين تعريف كل دم من الدماء الطبيعية؟ عين is it عين؟ عين تعريف عين تعريف كل دم من الدماء الطبيعية. تعريف
the normal one.
عين
الأسود لونه أسود.
Listen to the question. عين تعريف كل دم من الدم الطبيعية.
So you have to give a definition for every kind of
yes,
blood.
Yes, التعريف.
The normal
Yeah,
blood is
blood,
black, thick, and has a bad smell.
And it has a bad smell.
Yeah.
Okay.
And other colors are like al-kidra, which is brownish color, al-ma'il ila al-aswad, and we have al-sufra, it's dirty yellow color.
Yeah, dirty yellow color. كم علامات تعرف بها انتهاء الحيض مع ذكرها فقط؟ علامات. Two signs. جفاف.
قصة البيضاء.
رؤية القصة البيضاء. These are the two signs. Dryness, you see the clean fluid. And then the fourth one, هل يجوز للحائض دخول المسجد عند الحاجة وقراءة القرآن؟ شيخ سعيد. كم حالا للمستحاضة؟ كم حالا للمستحاضة؟ كم حالا؟ 3. واذكر واحدة منها واذكر كلها. واذكر كلها because واحدة is 2.
Two mentioned for experienced women.
No. كم حالة للمستحاضة؟
It's
three. Two of them are
yes.
for
because
experienced.
she has to make wudu every
Yes.
time, and she has to put cotton and like ghusl that part.
Yes.
And then this third one is like.
Yes, these are the two, yeah.
That he knows the difference between the hayd and the istihadah.
No, زوجها.
The first
she didn't know.
No.
case.
يا شيخ these are for أحكام. أحوال are different things.
Yeah, like حالة كم حالة للمستحاضة.
يعني we mentioned two for like experienced women that they know their time. They
What you're going there,
yes.
حالا للمستحاضة. حالا. So in this case, these مستحاضة في الأحكام كل مثالة على إنها تنفرد. Okay, so it should be those ones. Yes, it should be those ones. Yes, it should be those ones. It should be those ones like the Sheikh started. Yes, this one is.
Language barrier.
I don't know. It should be those ones. Yes. We can continue from there.
The two experienced women and one is inexperienced woman.
Yes.
For the two experienced, she can differentiate with the color or
Yes.
like the kind of blood, and two is the amount of duration. And for the third is like the inexperienced. If she doesn't know the type of the color and the duration of time, she will be asking the people around her,
Yes.
and they will be taking the most amount of numbers. For example, if 5 days, she will be going with that book.
Yes. He didn't ask about the exclusiveness or exclusivity of the woman that is having al-istihadah, which is the one that Sheikh Hagar has talked about. Yeah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa salli ala al-ghayb.
Yeah, I have a question. Can a duration of woman, or of duration of haid itself, can it change?
Sometimes it changes, definitely, generally it changes because there are this condition. Sometimes when they change location, even if the food, nature of the food changes, sometimes it changes. So that's why like in all of these cases, she should focus on the appearance generally. It really helps.
I have a question. We mentioned about like she making up for the prayers. If she had make sure that the duration of haid has finished before sunrise, she will do the before sunset, she will do Dhuhr and Asr.
Yes.
And the same thing for Maghrib and Isha.
Yes.
Before sunrise, she will do the Maghrib and Isha.
Yes.
So what if it was after the Adhan of Fajr? Will
It's
she
after
still
that.
do Maghrib and
It's
Isha?
over. It's over. After the Tulu Fajr, the periods are
The time is over.
Yes, the time is over. Now her actual timing is the Fajr time. Yes. So immediately after Ghurub Shams, after the sunset, now all the Zuhr and Asr periods are over. If she is clean, now the time for her is what? Maghrib and Isha. Yes.
And if it's after sunrise, would she need to be doing a Fajr prayer or there is no need?
Tulu al-Fajr, after Tulu al-Fajr.
Yes.
After Tulu al-Fajr, now the Maghrib and Isha are over. Now the Salat 1 hour is what? Is the Fajr.
No.
Is the Fajr. Before the sunset. But when the sun comes out, now the Fajr is also over.
But until when will the time for Fajr stand? Yani?
The time of Fajr, min Tulu al-Fajr ila Tulu
Shams.
al-Shams. This is
Yeah.
the period. This is the period. So within those periods, if she got clean after Tulu al-Shams, then the Fajr
When is
period
the Fajr?
is now over.
She will
Now
do it
we
for
set in for the
Dhuhr.
Zuhr. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك. Anything that is correct is from Allah, anything that is wrong is from me. Wassalamu alaikum.